All right, and we back, man. Back. MicCheckM.I.A. I'm your host, Konrad, or Konrad Collins, or whatever. That's my alias. Konrad is my alias. And we're here, for another side of the show on our sports edition. And we're here with basketball legend in my mind. Oh, I know you laughed last time I said it, but from Bradwell Institute girls basketball program, Faye Baker. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you. Nice to have you here. Of course, I met you before.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, basketball coach here, Bradwell Institute, Hinesville, Georgia.
Right.
You also born and raised in Liberty County.
Correct.
Allenhurst, Georgia.
That's correct. Correct.
As a two-sport athlete here yourself.
Right.
Okay, and so coming from Hinesville, how was that in your day and age in high school, being a two-sport athlete? Was that a norm, or that was just something you kind of got into?
Well, it was sort of the norm because Hinesville was so small. Mm-hmm. It wasn't very much to do, so everybody got involved in athletics. As a kid growing up in the recreation department here in Liberty County, it was basically the thing to do. So, and then I came from an athletic family also. All my siblings played sports, so I was destined to do it too because it was always in the yard playing, so I followed suit. So it was just kind of like second nature, and so I ended up I played softball and basketball, and also did track. Also, now I didn't run. I wasn't a runner, but I did the field events. Yeah, I was a field events person in track, so I actually participated in that as well. But again, it was just a thing to do, keep us busy, keep us occupied.
Okay. So Hinesville was, Liberty County was more of a tight-knit community at that time?
That is correct. I mean, at that time, when I grew up here, downtown Hinesville was Main Street where the courthouse is. That was it. That was it. And there was no fast food places. There was no Walmarts. We had one place to go out and eat. That was Dairy Queen, which is in the same original spot where it's at now. So that was our eating out spot. Yeah. So, but everybody knew everybody in the town. I mean, you go to the grocery store or whatever, you knew everybody in town. And then with the emergence of Fort Stewart and the growth of Fort Stewart, then it started developing and evolving a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the growth myself. Coming from a military family, my father was in the military. My mom is actually from Sandersville. It's not too far from
Okay, right. Washington County.
Yeah, Washington County. That's where my mom was originally from.
Okay.
And when we moved here, I remember it was a Piggly Wiggly.
That's right.
And I think Walmart was just getting built. I was like, man, I'm looking around like, where we at? But, it was I seen a growth from that, though. You know what I'm saying? From that time period. So I know what you mean. So as a athlete in the community, and you see it grow and things of that nature, and you seen did you see a lot of that growth as a child, or did you see more of that once you went on as an adult and came back?
Yes, I actually saw a lot more of it as an adult. As a child, I didn't see a whole lot of growth. Of course, from childhood to teenage years, Hinesville did start to develop a little more. I remember when we got our first Burger King. I mean, that was like big time to us, So I do remember times like that, but the growth really occurred after I went to college, came back, and then just started watching, see how the town evolved, and it started growing immensely after I came back. So as an adult, I saw more growth.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So after that, it was college.
Right. And
you went to college for softball.
That's correct.
What did you major in?
I majored in communication skills.
Okay. All right. My son doing that right now.
Yes, communications with an emphasis in broadcasting, actually.
Yeah.
But I didn't ever really do anything with it. I ended up getting teacher certification and ended up in education. But, it's kind of a roundabout way how I went about it.
Okay. No, that's cool. That's cool. So, I mean, you went to Georgia Southern.
Right.
As a communication major. You was playing softball. And you ended up on the basketball team.
That's correct. Like I said, I was playing softball, and I was friends with a lot of the girls on the basketball team, and we would play, play around, pick up games and that kind of stuff, and they was like, hey, you need to try out for the basketball team. So the next year, they were actually looking for players, and the coaches came to me and they, had me come out and check it out, and then they asked me about being on the team, and I was like, well, one of the main reasons why I didn't want to do it is because it's a lot of work, and you're not getting any scholarship money or anything. So they made a deal with me and offered me a little money, to play. So of course that was a incentive for me to go ahead and go out. So I actually played softball, and then I stopped playing softball and just started playing basketball because it was really grueling to try to play 2 sports in college.
Oh yeah, yes. I imagine that. Because that workload in the classroom.
Right.
Have you ever coached any 2-sport athletes that got multiple, or like situations? Might have got a scholarship in one sport, and I also had them looking at her at another sport?
Yes, that has happened. I've had some players that were looked upon as far as volleyball and basketball. I've had a couple, but again, no one, they always chose one sport because again, it's just the grueliness of it, trying to play 2 it's just real hard. So they would just select the one that they felt they had the best opportunity in.
I always noticed that the girls' high school coaches always kind of had a connection to volleyball with their players. Is that something that y'all encourage them to play, or is it just something they just so happen you might have, girls that play volleyball as well?
Well, when our volleyball team started, it was originated by the infamous Coach Reedy Kelly.
Yeah, I remember.
Rest in peace, Coach Kelly. And she definitely was just one of my good friends. And when she started that program, it's kind of like a precursor to basketball season because volleyball is played in the fall at the beginning of the year. So rather than have my basketball players just sitting around doing nothing, it was very good for them to go ahead and get on the volleyball team. They're working on jumping, they're working on agility, they're working on all types of things, which is going to help them to be more in shape when they fall into basketball season. So we always, and even now, we always encourage our athletes to participate in more than one sport in high school. The more you can do in high school, I think the better off you are. So
you're right. I always felt like any kid who was an athlete should be a 2-sport in high school, like you said, because it's going to help them in some form, with the other sport. It might not exactly the skill, but maybe that athleticism.
That's true.
In certain areas. So, so coaching at Bradwell, you've been there since.
I've been there since 1995 as the head coach.
As the head coach.
Yes, 1993 is when I started as the junior varsity coach.
Junior varsity coach.
Yes.
Okay. So, when I was there, then that means you was a JV coach. I remember you the most. I remember you the most when I left Bradwell. That's when I remember you. That's when I remember you the most. I knew you then. But I didn't know, I was a freshman when I went to Bradwell, so I didn't know all the coaches and anything like that. I was just trying to make the team. Right. And, by the time I was like in the 11th grade, it was like a lot of chatter about Coach Baker. Because I knew a lot of the girls that were over there because we all played basketball. Okay. So that was like the big thing. Like, they loved you. They loved you. They was going like, nah, Coach Baker is it. Okay. Yeah, they love you. So that's why I say that when I address you, legendary coach, because they look at you like that. You know what I'm saying? They actually do, and we do. And all the people who played basketball from that time frame. I was in school. I graduated in '98. So that time frame, that was when you was getting started. Right. You was getting your feet wet. Yes. Very young in the game. No real experience except the experience of me playing, but there's a lot that I had to learn as a young coach. And I was kind of thrown into it suddenly. I was a JV coach, and one night something happened where the varsity coach wasn't going to be there, and they were like,
You got it tonight.
Yeah.
And so I just had to fall into it. So, I learned a lot along the way, a whole lot along the way.
And you actually kind of took over, I think, Yolanda Smiley might have been.
Yolanda Smiley was there. Yes, that's right. That's right.
She was a decent shooter.
Right.
Not very quick.
Right.
But solid.
That's right.
Solid.
That's right. Solid player.
She was solid.
Yes, she was.
And she was. Me and her were decent friends. I was younger than them.
Okay.
But like I said, once again, we all played basketball.
Right.
Yeah, but you actually was a pretty good team.
Yes, I believe that team, and it's been so many teams. I kind of try to keep them together, but I think I had Pam Evans during that time also. And again, yes.
A lot of seniors, though.
Yes, yes, a lot of seniors. So it was a pretty decent team during that time. Yes.
Yeah. So from that time frame when you first started, you mentioned improving as a coach.
Right.
And I know when we spoke last, you was saying that the improvement of your coaching really came with a great point guard.
That's true.
So let's just speak on that right quick, the importance of a point guard and where that started for you.
Yes. Well, when I became the head coach in 1995, I was blessed to have a really, really good point guard in Shantae Craig.
Shout out to Shantae Craig.
Yes. And one thing that a seasoned coach said to me, and his name Coach David Jones, and I'll never forget, he said, to have a great team, you have to have a good point guard. He said that to me. And he said, I don't care how good your bigs are. If your guards, if you don't have the guard play, it's still hard to win. And over the years, that has proven to be true. Very true. Because that point guard, if you have a capable point guard out there, they're pretty much that field general on the floor. They're the coach on the floor. They do things in the heat of the moment that you don't have time to really tell them to do. And, they pretty much navigate and facilitate on that floor for you. And it means a lot.
Yeah.
So even though she was a freshman in 1995 and that was my first year, but she had so much athletic ability and basketball IQ till she was just very special. And then as she evolved and developed 4 years, and those coming through there, we had Latasha Williams, and then we had Crystal Matthews, and all those came through. And as they developed and got into their junior and senior years, we were just continuing to roll. And then right after Shantae graduated, here comes Tamika Powell, who was also just a tremendous point guard for me. So I was blessed, and I was spoiled for 8 consecutive years to have really, really special point guards.
Yeah, from freshmen.
Right.
Because
right.
Like at that time,
right.
We actually knew Shantae was going to do that. Y'all probably didn't know.
Right.
But being an 8th grader and seeing her in 7th grade. It was like, oh man, she played like way better than the rest of the girls, and she really opened our young men, us young men who was playing.
Right.
She opened our eyes to how good a girl could be.
Right.
So because it was like, man, she came through and it was like she could shoot,
yes,
she could handle, she could pass. It was
right.
like, where this girl come
right.
from? She playing with us in the morning,
right,
and getting buckets.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, man, like this girl can play, but I'm not gonna let you score on me. So, but yeah, she was really good. So once we got to high school, we already knew, man, they finna have Shantae next year. Man, y'all, we was telling the girls that played, man, y'all gonna have to tighten up, because Shantae gonna start.
Yes.
Like, hey, that girl ain't coming in. Yeah, y'all just don't know.
She did just that.
Yeah, man. So you got great point guards. You felt like you was spoiled because but it opened up your eyes and in the way. Because Coach Jones did say that you got in order to have a great team, you got to have a great point guard. But how did it open up your eyes though to the game, having those great point guards? What else was it giving you the ability to see?
Well, that's a good question. I guess in a sense, and that's the thing. I don't think I saw a lot of things that maybe I should have saw because of the ability of my guards. So it's like when those guards graduated and they left, and then you know, my guards were just mediocre or subpar. That's when really my eyes really opened up, and I started seeing a lot of things that we were limited to then.
But the things that you probably needed to teach the guard.
That I had to teach. Yeah, it was like there was so many things that I took for granted because they knew how to do it.
I got you.
That now
that makes sense.
The others didn't.
Yeah,
so,
that make a lot of sense though.
Yes.
Yeah. So the growth with you, you can almost say like, as far as strategy wise, probably changed when those people left, when those guards left.
Right.
And it was like, now that you, with the great point guard, you was able to run sets and know that they work.
Right.
But without the great point guard, now it's like, okay, I can run that set, but I need to be a little bit more cautious in this area.
That's right, and that's another great point because and even to this day, what we run depend on what type of athletes we have that year. You know, we can't always say we're going to run this, we're going to run that from year to year. We just don't know. It depends on what type of athletes you have, what caliber athletes. That's going to determine sometimes what you're going to be able to do and what you're not going to be able to do.
Yeah, that's great. So that's knowing your personnel.
Knowing your personnel. Yeah. That's correct.
Yeah. So I mean, and you know what? You'll be surprised how many coaches don't do that. Try to know their personnel and say, okay, I might have to switch it up this year.
Right.
But instead, just kind of a little stubborn on what it is that they consider what I do.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You know, but you know that's growth. I think for a lot of coaches, is to accept that you might have to switch it up this year.
That's right.
Like,
that's
man, we can't run that man to man.
Exactly. That's true.
We can't do it. So, speaking of that, have you ever had? What was your greatest man-to-man team like that you can remember having? Your greatest man-to-man team.
My greatest man-to-man team probably was my 2002 team, 2001, 2002 team. That consisted of Candace Farrell, LaToya Horton, Tamika Powell was on that team. We had Brittany Campbell. Paris Campbell. They were sisters. That team, they were so fundamental. I mean, just, and that's what coaches used to always tell me, is that your team is just so fundamental. I mean, they listened and they ran things to perfection. And I mean, defensively, offensively, they definitely would be one of the teams that now my team this past year actually did a pretty good job of playing man defense. Still got some ways to go, but we had a lot of young people out there, so for the age that they were this year, they actually didn't do a bad job as far as running man defense. That's
good, because I don't know, I just think that every team should be able to do that. Should, I mean, he's not saying you will be able to do it, but I just think in order to win and win on all levels, you're gonna have to have a team that have the ability to. They don't have to be a great man team, but just the ability to stop somebody on the man in a man defense at least one or two times, and until you might have to switch it up, you know, you're gonna have to, because I just think that pressure on the ball is a necessity at certain times. Certain times you need to back out of it, you know. But to me, that's just, I don't know, that's just my opinion.
Okay. Yes. I mean, again, you have to have the personnel though that can do it. That you gotta have those players that can stay in front of their man, you know, and then, you know, we teach the man concept as far as, and my players will tell you, my question is always, in a man-to-man defense, who are you responsible for? And the answer is, you're a man and everybody else is man, okay? So even though it's man defense, we have to make sure they understand that it's still a team concept. Because you might be out there on your man and holding your man down, but if your teammate, a man is beating them, then you got to be able to step and help side and help. So we teach that concept, but you have to have the athleticism for the most part, for your kids to be able to run a good, solid team man defense. And I've seen some good zone defenses as well, because some players they get the false idea that just because you're in a zone that you kind of relax. And if you're playing a good zone, you shouldn't be relaxing. You should still have the man concept, because you're still playing man in a zone, in an area.
You are.
You're playing man in areas, and you're still supposed to be getting out and moving on each pass. So, but that's one of the problems that we have with our kids this year. When we go to a zone, they get a little lax. They think it's relaxed time.
They just think it's a position,
right?
And I'm gonna move if they move.
Right.
If they not moving, I'm not moving.
Right.
And sometimes that person will be caught up in a situation where they can't move, but you still need to move.
Exactly.
You know, because they might be in between two offensive players.
Exactly.
But now that you're not moving, this guy open.
Right.
And they get a backside layup or something like that.
Right.
But I see what you're saying. I want to ask you what your favorite zone is, but I don't want you revealing nothing to any coaches that might be looking, to anybody out there. So, but how about this? What is an effective zone that you have seen in years past that still works today?
Well, very recently, when matter of fact, the last game we played in the Elite Eight, we played a team Sequoia out of high school, and they played a really, really, really good 1-2-2 zone.
Yeah.
I mean, as a matter of fact, I'm going and study that film and try to emulate the way they ran it. I mean, their zone defense was incredible. It was incredible. Yes.
I like the 1-2-2. I actually used to coach with Mr. McCullough.
Okay.
Coach Matt. It's Nelson.
It's Nelson. Okay.
And it's funny you say that because the kids was all over the diamond.
Okay.
Oh, they want to run the diamond. Coach, we want to run the diamond. I was like, man, that diamond got holes in it.
Yes.
And, Coach McCullough, he was going to allow them to run it. But it was his first time coaching. That's why he asked me to help him. So I was like, okay, man. So they want to run the diamond. I said, Quans, I would get out of that if I was you. I wouldn't. I was like, they get beat over the top too much. And he was like, man, what else you think we could run? I said, man, run a 3/4 1-2-2. Because these middle school kids, just run a 3/4. Just let them meet them at the line, pass the line, and put the pressure on them in the corners. So we did it, and the kids was like, we don't want to run that. We don't want to run that. We want a diamond. We're going to get steals. I'm saying, I promise y'all, if y'all run this, you're going to see less scoring out of the other team. You're going to be able to control the game better. So when we did it, the kids was mad. And like, I don't want to do that, coach. And so we said, well, I tell you what, we're going to go back to the diamond then. Let y'all run it, do what y'all want to do. So they did it, got 2 quick steals. We told you, coach, we told you. So after the 2 quick steals, they getting beat over the top. They landed up, boom, landed up, bloom, bloom. After the 4th layup, I was like, Kwanzaa. He was like, yeah, man, time out. And he's like, listen, because we used to call it house.
Okay.
He like, we going back to it. And as soon as we went back to it, up by 30. So that's why it is funny that you said that, because it is like them old stuff is still very
effective. Right. It is. It really is. It really is.
Effective.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, from from
right.
a coach's standpoint, what you thought of it.
And a lot of players they'll start to thinking. You have to have your kids to buy in. Also, that's very important that they buy in and they believe in what you're doing, because really and truly, if they don't buy in, I don't care what you run, it's not going to work.
You're right.
Unless you put that effort into it. You have to put that effort and intensity into it, and you have to believe in it and pretty much make it work.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that mindset, then most things that you do, it's not going to be very effective.
Can you remember any of what they were doing in that zone? Because you said I'm gonna go back and study, because that thing must have been.
It was. They were just. They closed out well in it. They moved well. We always teach when we're in the zone, move on the pass, not the catch. So their movement was just very well. They cut off the driving lanes really well. keyed on our leading scorer really well, even though they were in a zone. I mean, it was just they did a very good job.
They said no, so they just basically they moved really well together.
They moved really well together
in that
yes,
zone to where they could manipulate it to focus on somebody.
Exactly.
Dang.
Exactly. They did. They did.
I'm not gonna lie. Whatever he had them doing, you gotta find out because I've seen that before with teams, and sometimes it's like, man, how they doing that?
I know. Yeah.
How they getting the kids to really move to perfection almost.
Right. I mean, everybody's moving on every pass.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's funny, one of my assistant coaches sent me, there's this concept of this, they had this rope now where they tie all 5 of the defenders together.
Mm-hmm.
And so now when one moves, it's going to pull everybody, so we're thinking about maybe purchasing that.
Yeah.
Because that really teaches the team concept of movement. It really does. So
kind of go back to that old, you remember the thing they used to have where you, I don't know if we did the sliding drills with it, but it had a little connector in the middle, and if you got too far from each other, it came apart.
Yes. I remember that.
Yeah,
yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that concept, but multiple people.
Right.
That's probably what they're using.
It might be.
Because I'm telling you, the strongest diamond defense I ever coached against, them guys was in a triangle, and that triangle was moving like that. And I was like, man, what in the world? And they wasn't even really looking at each other. But that triangle was moving like that. And it was like, you got to slow the ball down and just pass ease your way.
Pass through it,
Because if you don't, it's over with. But yeah, that might be something you want to
invest in.
Invest in.
I agree.
So, defensive prowess is definitely a factor in making it to deep in the playoffs.
Right.
So I mean, I can understand you wanting to figure that part out and get that in there. With your team that you have now, athletically, you think you have enough for a man or a zone? How
we definitely, with the players that we have coming back, and we definitely still have the nucleus of our team returning next year. And so most of them are already pretty well versed in what we've already been doing. So it's just a matter of just continuing on with that. So we definitely can play man. Yeah, definitely. We would definitely be focusing on that. Well, one dynamic that's going to be really different this year is now we're going to have a shot clock.
Oh, this is going to be the first year.
This is going to be the first year that shot clock is mandatory. So that's a whole nother animal.
So is it 30, 35?
It's 35 seconds.
Okay, 35 seconds. That's good.
Yes.
That's not bad.
Right.
At 30 might have been.
Right.
And 35, that's not bad at all. 40 would be even better.
Yeah. But at least they're giving us 5 extra seconds more than they do in college. Yes.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yes.
That's cool. So how is, okay. So that brings in a whole nother question. So how is that like when teaching your offense?
Right. And that's something we're going to have to figure out. And that's something we're going to be working on this summer.
Yeah.
Going ahead and figuring out how, because the kids already don't like to be patient. It's like pulling teeth to get them to be patient on offense at times. So now they're gonna have a reason not to be. So but again, we want to teach them to still run your offense and still get good looks, and even though within that 35 seconds, you're still trying to
get deep into the
clock. Right, and not try to jack shots up 5 seconds into the clock or whatever. So that's one of the things that we'll definitely be concentrating on this summer.
Okay, I know you said you have a couple of prospects from this current team.
Right.
You have a big man. She's leaving, right?
No,
she got one more year.
She has one more year. She will be a rising senior.
Rising senior.
Bailey Gilmore.
Bailey Gilmore.
Yes, she's a junior this year, so she has one more year. And then we also have Tanaya Bowman, who's my point guard, and she will be a senior next year as well. and we have we have 4 starters returning from last year's team. And the other one, Tanel Moore, who's a rising senior as well. So we got some pretty good experience. And then the 4th starter is Parham, which she was actually a freshman this year.
Yeah, I know Paris.
Yes,
yes.
Yeah, okay. So she had a really good year for us.
Okay.
She really did.
She told me she was the truth. I was like, I'm gonna check you out one day.
Yes, you gotta come check her out. She's pretty special.
And she's getting taller.
She is.
Yeah,
she's getting taller.
She's about 6'1" almost.
Yes, she's getting up there. Yeah, but she's pretty special player.
That's good. So, excuse me. But so you have those players returning,
right. Along with a few others. We have like 8 players actually returning off of our team from last year. So we, like I said, we have the pretty much the nucleus of our team returning.
Yeah, 4 starters and 8 players. That's pretty much right. Your whole team almost.
That's true.
So you have the prospects from this year. Now let's just dial it back just a little bit.
Okay.
Who are some of the prospects? I don't remember everybody. Who are some of the prospects that you had that went and played college ball? Let's say after Shantae and the following point guard. Just to name those people, because I don't really know them like that because I wasn't always around. Okay.
All right. Well, after Shantae, and then we had Latoya Horton. She played at East Carolina. Let's see. We had Candace Farrell. She played at Valdosta State.
That's Mike Farrell's sister, isn't it?
No.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
No, I know who you're talking about.
Michael Ferrier.
Yeah, his name's Michael Ferrier.
Yeah, I'm saying it wrong.
Yes, but yeah, she went on and had a great career at Valdosta. Tamika Powell, she did get a scholarship and ended up at East Carolina. But she played for 1 year and then she gave it up. She actually ended up coming back to Georgia Southern, not to play ball, but she ended up getting her degree from Georgia Southern.
Oh, okay.
But she did get a collegiate scholarship to play basketball. Charmaine Clark.
Yeah, I remember Charmaine.
Played at University of Miami.
Yep, I remember Charmaine.
We had Chandra Lee, who played at, she went to East Georgia, and then she ended up leaving there and going to West Georgia. And she graduated from there.
Okay. I went to East. Shout out to East Georgia.
Okay. So those are some, trying to think.
There's so many players though. There's so many players. You don't have to think of all of them.
Okay.
I just wanted to kind of shout those players out a little bit. You know?
We have one playing right now at Payne College in Augusta, Jada Brooks.
Jada Brooks.
That's where she's at. She had a really good year this past year.
I know her father real proud.
Yes.
He posted some of the stuff.
Right.
She was actually like, I don't know if she was the MVP of the team or the conference.
I think she was the MVP of the conference.
Yeah, something like that. And she was the little one. She was the little one that he didn't really expect.
Right.
Was gonna really, I guess, on the love it side. More so.
Right. Yeah.
And she ended up being the one who.
That's true. That's true.
Went on and now MVP of the conference.
Right.
That's excellent.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Very proud of her.
So let me ask you, have you as a coach, have you ever thought about having like an alumni type of clinic? When you break some of that alumni back, if they still playing basketball though, or if they still interested in basketball, like and more so for a camaraderie type of deal, not really for them to come teach them, but to kind of run through some stuff with them, and that camaraderie and that pride of Bradwell. Because I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna play Eye the Tiger when you came in here, because when I was younger, that was always the thing.
It still is. It still is.
I was gonna play that, but I just always thought that was as a high school coach would be a cool thing, that not necessarily like just to bring that alumni back and. If they still play basketball, or have them almost like acting coaches for a day.
Right.
Just helping instill that and pride.
That Tiger pride. That's a very good idea. I might consider doing something like that, especially in the fall when we kick off. Just have the alumni come back for one Saturday practice or whatever, and just come in and contribute in whatever way they want to. So that's a great idea.
Yeah, just help you work with them. And,
right.
I always felt like that was a good idea.
Good way to kick off the season. That's a great idea.
Yeah, so feel free to steal it. No, I'm telling you that to steal it, really.
Okay.
I'm telling you that to steal it. But so right now you got your season coming up. You want to let everybody know how to get their tickets. Now, first of all, will they be a cap on the people that can come in?
Well, hopefully not. I mean, they took the cap off this past season. Okay. So it was, unlimited seating. They took the cap off, so that was great because COVID numbers were down. Mm-hmm. And so we pray that it continues to be down. Mm-hmm. So if it keeps going the trend that it is, then it shouldn't be a cap on tickets. Okay. But I don't know if they ever, because I think they like the idea of not having to actually physically sell tickets at the door. So that's something I don't know if we'll ever get back to that. If that's the case, it is convenient. Yeah. So tickets will still be sold electronically on GoFan.
Yeah. I mean, I think that probably cut the line down,
right?
Because people could just more so walk in and eat, and they already in there.
Right.
To cut that line down. I noticed that going to a few games. That there's no line when you get in there. It's packed in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So technology taking over.
Right. That's true. COVID was bad, but a few good things came from it. That's one of them. Learning how to do tickets electronically. So,
that's true. That's true. That's true.
I'm sorry. Speaking of technology, how has technology affected coaching? Like, have you been implementing the new technology in coaching?
I mean, it has helped tremendously. I can remember, especially when we were getting to the playoffs and we needed film on teams, and we would be calling coaches and we're trying to get film, and they're having to mail VHS tapes to us.
Right.
So you got to wait 2 or 3 days to get them, or you can try to meet up with a coach somewhere and get film. And now with the program that we used last year was Huddle, and so now all you gotta do is send an email, Coach, can you send me film on such? Sure, boom, there it is.
Right.
So I mean, that has helped tremendously, and with stats, with statistics, with Max Preps, you get all the kids' stats right there. If you opponent scouting, it helps with scouting. Everything's right there electronically. You can see the averages and games played, and so yes. It's helped a lot. You can get stats instantly at halftime. You see how your team's doing, so you can look at the stat sheet immediately and see what you need to improve on, where your weaknesses, where your strengths are. So technology, I mean, I can't say enough about the part that technology has played.
It's about taking over the clipboard.
Yes, yes, it is.
It's taking over the clipboard.
Oh yeah. You really don't need. We actually do not take clipboard stats anymore, because our video system will generate our stats when they upload the film. It generates the stats. Right. So the only thing we really keep up with now is the fouls, so that we know exactly how many fouls our kids have. But other than that, yes, all stats are generated from and then they do streaming now. Our program, and we have the camera in the gym where, say, if you wanted to go to NFHS, that's the National Federation of High Schools, get a get a subscription for, I think the subscription is like $10 a month or whatever, and then you can watch all of our games streamed when we're at home. So again, that's
and how much is the subscription though?
$10 a month. It's like $10.99. $10.99 a month.
So you have access to high schools in this vicinity or all over? You
actually have access to high schools anywhere, as long as they have that streaming system in their gym.
Okay.
Oh, so you can. Look, that college coaches need to be like all over that.
They probably have scouts. Probably scouts over
that.
Yeah, man, dang technology, but. So basically, coaching high school basketball, you need to make sure that the school has invested in that because it helps you help the kids get scouted in a way because you got that system, so you can promote the system to the colleges and.
That's true.
Wow.
That's true. Yep.
It came so far, man.
Yes.
So
I can remember asking Coach Graham for the VHS.
Yes.
He was like, let me just take it home. And he wouldn't let you take anything tonight. I'm like, Coach, come on, man. I got this coach talking to me, man.
So another thing, talking about how far the game has come. When you were young, we talked about this before. You had Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and those kind of guys to emulate. These young ladies now, they have a whole league that watch. Female college basketball is a lot more popular than it's ever been because you have access to it. They can watch it on cable. Many channels they can watch it.
Right.
Who were some of the players that you like coming up and who you emulated?
Again, me, myself, and my generation, we had to emulate the male players.
Right.
We didn't have the female players. We didn't have a WNBA league or anything. So we, again, like you said, the Magic Johnsons, the Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomases, old school, Dr. J. Julius Irving, of course, loved him. So, I mean, we looked up Earl the Pearl, Monroe.
Right.
You know, I remember those guys playing those old school guys. Yeah. So Wes Unseld, I know y'all heard of him.
Yeah, Wes Unseld.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes.
So again, it was all male for us. You know, back then we didn't have females to look up to like these kids have today.
Right.
So that's a major difference.
Okay.
Major difference.
Okay. Now, are a lot of these girls still emulating the males? You think, or do you think? They have female. Are they watching these games? It seems like the women's league is not very popular right now.
Yeah, they're not watching as much as they should be.
Okay.
I really don't think they do, and that's one of the things that I encourage is to watch the game. You learn a lot from just watching the game. Because some of the things they do on the floor, I can tell they're not watching the way they should be watching.
Yeah. Right, they're not studying.
They're not studying. There you go.
Yeah,
they're not studying the game the way they should. And the luxury that they have of these young ladies, because I mean these young ladies can play.
Yes.
You know, especially on the collegiate level and on the WNBA level.
Yes.
And they're just not watching it the way they should. Now, I would say the popular figures of the males, they're still looking up to, like the Steph Currys, the LeBron James. I mean, those guys, they still talk about them, want to be like them.
Right.
Everybody wants to be a Steph Curry. Everybody wants to shoot the three.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's lifting it up. Right?
Yeah, everybody wants to shoot the three. So that's sometimes that can be a downside for you. You know, also, I mean, we try to teach them that, you know, the 3-point shot is not the only shot in the game. Let's go for a higher percentage shot, you know, at times. So so that kind of hurts us a little bit. But, yeah, they have a lot more females to look. Well, they have females, period, to look up to, as opposed to when I was coming through. I didn't have that at all.
Okay, and another thing, we talking about coaches. You said Pat Summitt was somebody that you look to as a figure. Right. She's one of the greatest female coaches ever.
Exactly.
Okay. And right now you like Dawn Staley.
Dawn Staley's my girl. Yes. I love.
She's represented the game well.
Yes, she has. I mean, you know, she was a great player, and now she seemed to be able to instill that greatness in her players. And it's just seeing the rapport that she has with her players. I love that. She has a very good rapport with her players, and a lot of times that's what it's about. You know, I try to have good relationships with my players. You know, it's only going to be a small percentage that will play on collegiate level. But like I tell them, my biggest concern is about them just going out and being productive citizens in the world. That's what I want for them. That's what makes me proud. You know, I look back this past weekend, a couple of my players, former players, graduating from college. That's what makes me proud.
That's beautiful.
Yes. That's what it's all about.
That's success.
Yes, that's success.
That's success.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't have to always be on the basketball court.
That's right.
I mean, yeah,
That's right.
You get that piece of paper.
That's right.
You know, it's beautiful.
And you know what? I think the sports it motivates some kids to even start looking at college.
Right.
Because they probably wasn't even thinking about college at first. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but in order to play this sport, I'm gonna have to focus on that. And by focusing on it, I'm being a better student. All of these things, I'm trying to set myself up for it. So, but even if it don't have it, I already set myself up for it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So that's, I think, man, ball is life in a way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, sports has helped kids academically.
Yes.
Because they love the game and they
That's
have
true.
to be a good student to play.
Yeah. You got
And believe it or not, my kids excel much higher during the season, in season.
Mm-hmm.
They're more focused.
They're more
More
focused.
focused.
When the season's over, that's when I really have to watch. Like right now during this period, spring,
Lackadaisical.
yeah,
Right.
I have to really focus on them, making sure that they're still doing what they're supposed to do academically. But when we're in season, in the middle of the season, no problem. They are structured and focused.
So you're doing basketball coaching, and then after the season, you're doing life coaching.
That's true.
So
That's
you're
true.
teaching at the school too?
I am.
Common.
I am. Communication skills.
Oh, the communication skills.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I told a young man that we were interviewing, he said it was common skills, but it's communication skills. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe, I guess, is it abbreviated? Or is...
It probably is because the COMM.
Yeah. You said common
yes,
skills.
that's right.
So I said, what is common skills?
I'm wondering.
Skills. Yeah.
So you are using your degree?
Pretty much.
Right,
Yes,
right,
I am.
okay.
I kind of went full circle back into my degree.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
and I love what I get to do because I can I have a variety of different stuff that I can do with them. But we spend a lot of time on life skills.
Okay.
That's what we talk about, life issues,
Right.
problems that's real for them right now. You know,
Right,
so
right.
we get to do a lot of that. So I love that part of it.
That's good because I know the kids outside of the home sometimes need somebody else to talk to about life, period.
That's true.
Because sometimes you don't want to listen to your parents.
That's true.
But when they talk to somebody outside of the home and they start hearing the same things,
Right.
they try to listen to their parents a little bit more because
Right.
they feel like their parents is not just like the warden.
Right.
That they really telling them something that they should know.
Right.
So that's
Right.
great.
That's true.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't know that they had that communication. How long have they had that course?
Well, I've been teaching it now for at least 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
That's
Yes.
good. That's good. I mean, they
And now
need
I'm
that.
not the only one.
Right.
There's a couple of other teachers that also teach that because I'm only there part-time, so I only have one class.
No.
And it's funny that my administrator asked me when we did our post evaluations, he's trying to get me to teach another class, teach two classes. I was like, no, I think I'm okay with my one.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you part of history and the teaching because were you the first to teach that at Bradwell or was that like an elective when you first started?
Well, it still is an elective. It's still it's not a required course, but it does count toward graduation. But that is a good question, and I think you may be right. I might be one of the first that taught that class. Yes,
Yeah.
I think you may be right.
Yeah, because I know they didn't have that when I was going to school. But that's a great class. But these kids now have like really good classes they can take.
They do. They really do. The curriculum has spread out, and it's so many things they can do now. And
Right. And technology is doing that.
Yes, right. That's right. Like when we had to go virtual during the pandemic,
Right.
see, that's something else. That put me out of my comfort zone, having to do that. I'm like, oh, no, I was just scared to death. But I learned how to do it. And now, if there's an issue and we have to close school for a week or whatever, it's no big deal.
Yeah, you cool with it.
I know how
now.
to do it now. Yeah.
It's a common skill now.
It's a common skill now. That's right. That's so true.
Oh, man, that's great, man. That's great.
Yes.
So, I mean, let's make sure that everybody knows your scheduling is not coming out yet, right?
It has not come out yet. We are trying to really finish it up. We're a couple of games short on the boys' side that we're trying to. Girls' side is complete, but when we put the schedule out, it has boys and girls on there. 'Cause
Oh, okay.
Coach Randolph and I, we're a team. We work together.
Oh, that's
So
good.
so we haven't put it out yet because we're still trying to finish up the boys side of it, but it should be ready in the summer for us. So, matter of fact, I already talked to my sports guy that he said he's gonna put it on the calendar for us. So he'll be putting that out on social media pretty soon when we get it complete.
Probably on like Twitter, Instagram.
Yes. I'm sure he'll put it on Twitter, Instagram, on Facebook.
Okay.
That's
just for the audience to know what it is.
Right, because we have a Bradwell Lady Tigers and Tigers Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
So you have social media dedicated to the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they can actually go on there. So
exactly.
It's Bradwell Tigers
and Lady Tigers. Right.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for anybody looking for that, you go to Bradwell Tigers and Lady Tigers.
And Lady Tigers.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Facebook page.
All right, so we got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And we've been in here for a little minute. You know, and we're gonna go on and on because it's basketball. I love basketball myself, so I'm gonna go on and on. I'm not gonna lie, but it's been a pleasure having you on.
It's been a pleasure being here. I love what you guys do.
Thanks for coming again.
Yes,
Appreciate you.
yes.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Yes.
We sorry for any inconvenience because of the first time we had it was on us.
Right.
You know? But this was truly a pleasure to have you on, and hopefully to have you on again after a season with your players and letting us know how y'all how everything's going and things like that. So we hope we keep in touch with you as well.
Okay,
on that.
Sounds good. I'd be glad to come back.
Okay, and I thank you. I thank you for having the time to give us a chance to interview you.
Okay.
So hey, this is your boy Konrad, man. I got my boy Tone lurking in the background.
Yes, sir.
And this is MicCheckM.I.A. One part. London is on vacation. She'll be back soon for probably 2 or 3 more interviews. So y'all see her then. Check and like at the bottom. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Any questions you have for Ms. Baker, for me, let us know how we can improve the show if you feel like we need to improve it. So this is MicCheckM.I.A. and we out. Sports Edition. Thank you.